Hello students, today I am going to discuss chemical reactions and equation. So this is the continued part of the first chapter. In the previous class we already discussed the definition of chemical reactions. So what do you mean by the chemical reaction? When two or more substances combine together it form a new substance, right? In this combination we are getting some changes also. We are discussing about all that, right? What are the changes will be occurring in the chemical reaction? Change of the color, it will releases the heat, it will releases the light, and it is releases the precipitation. So that is nothing but it's a characteristics of the chemical changes. Okay, next we learned some balanced and imbalanced chemical reaction. In the last class we already discussed about the balanced and unbalanced chemical reactions. With the help of the examples we already balanced the chemical reaction, and we already learned how to represent the chemical equations in terms of words and in terms of symbols. So we are having two type of the representation in the chemical reaction, that is first one is a word equations and second one is a symbolic equations. Word equation means we are representing the chemical equations in terms of the words. Symbolic equation means with the help of the molecular formulas or with the help of the elements. Symbols of the elements are atoms. So these all things we already completed in the first session. So this is the second session. It means the continued part of the same chapter, that is chemical reactions and equations. Okay, so in this chapter I'm going to discuss some types of the chemical reactions. So these are the very important for your examination. So see the first one, the main concept is types of chemical reaction. So what do you mean by chemical reaction? As you already know that chemical reaction is nothing but it's a composition or combination of the substances. When we are combining two or more substances, it will form a new substance. So that new substance is entirely different from the combining substances. It means the physical properties of the first substance or the physical appearance of the first reactant substance is entirely different from the substance, right? So each and every chemical reaction have two parts. In that, first one is reactant part and second one is a product part. Okay, so reactant parts are, we already write in the, these reactant parts are going to be represent in the left hand side and product is represent in the right hand side. It in between the reactants and product we indicate the arrow mark that will shows the change of reaction. It means direction of the reaction. Okay, now see the types of reaction. Types of reaction. So there are millions of reactions. There are millions of reactions. We can't remember them all. So just we are classifying for your syllabus. We are having 5 types of reaction, mainly 5 types of reaction. Later we will discuss one by one. Okay, so next one fall into several categories. We will learn 5 types only. For your syllabus is including 5 types of the reactions. Will be able to predict the products. Some more we will be able to predict whether they will be happen at all. Will recognize them by the reactants. Okay, so we are having million types of the reactions, but for your syllabus we are having only 5 types of the reaction. Now see one by one. So what are the types of the reactions? First one, combination reaction. So first type is combination reaction. First type is combination reaction, second type is decomposition reaction, third type is displacement reaction. We also call it as a single displacement reaction, and fourth one is double displacement reaction, and fifth one is oxidation or reduction reaction. We simply call it as a redox reaction. Redox reaction. Okay, so these are the mainly five types of the reactions. These five types are included in your syllabus. Okay, so five types of reactions are there. The first one is synthesis or combination reaction. Combination reaction, we're having one more name, that is synthesis reaction. So combination reaction is also called as a synthesis reaction. So these are the, what you are observing on the display, these all are the general representation, general form of the representation of chemical reaction. It means with the help of these general formulas we can understand how the chemical reactions will be existing. For example, first one is a nothing but a combination reaction, right? So this is the combination reaction. Combination reaction is called as a synthesis reaction, in which two or more substances, here I am taking two substances, these two substances combine together and it form a single substance. So the name itself indicates combination. We need to combine the substances. We need to combine the substances or reactants. That two reactants are combined each other and it will form a one single compound. One single compound. Okay. So that is the combination reaction. And the general form of decomposition reaction is compound is, we are taking here one complete compound and breaks down as a two simplest elements or ions. So this is exactly opposite to the composition reaction. In the composition reaction, we are adding two substances and get single product. But in the decomposition, reaction, we are taking single element or single compound and breaks down into two simplest compounds. Later we will discuss one by one. Okay, next one, single displacement reaction. So third one is single displacement or single replacement reaction. Okay, in single replacement reaction or in single displacement reaction, the highly active element will be displaces. Okay, so this is the general form of single displacement reaction or single replacement. Displacement is nothing but a replacement. So just observe this general form. If I am taking AB as a one compound and C is the one reactive element, so that reactive element is combined with the compound, and unreactive, it means less reactive element is get separated. Okay, here less reactive element is B. Okay, later we will discuss. So see the next fourth one. So fourth type is double replacement or double displacement. So in this reaction we are having two compounds. The exchange of their ions. In the double displacement, there exchanges their ions which are present in the two compounds. For example, AB and CD. AB and CD are the two compounds. They exchange their ions. Here in the product part you are observing A will be combined with C and B is combined with D. So we get a two new product with the help of the two compounds. By the combination of two compounds we get two more new compounds. So these type of the reactions are called as a double displacement reaction. So these are the some general forms of the types of reaction. Now we'll discuss one by one. Okay, so this is the first type, that is combination reaction. Combination reaction is also called as a synthesis reaction. We already discussed in the previous slide. So what is the general form of the combination reaction? A plus B combined together, it form a AB as a new product. So this is the general form of the combination reaction. It means here two or more substances combine to produce a single compound, combined together and it produces a single compound, are known as a combination reaction or synthesis reaction. Okay, so combination reaction, so I can define the combination reaction. In combination reaction, two or more substances combined to form a new substance. For example, with the help of the examples we'll get some more ideas. Here carbon is the one compound, or carbon is the one element which is combined with the oxygen. Once the carbon is combined with oxygen, what it forms? Carbon dioxide. It means here the two substances are combining together and it form a one single compound, that is carbon dioxide. So see that this statement of the combination reaction, two or more substances. Here two or more substances, I'm taking the two substances now. So these two substances are combined together to form a new substance, that is carbon dioxide. Next one, hydrogen is combined with the oxygen. Hydrogen is combined with the oxygen and it forms water, and the state of water is liquid. Next one, take one more example. When hydrogen is combined with chlorine, it forms a hydrochloric acid, HCl. When H2 is combined with the Cl2, it forms 2HCl. Hydrogen chloride is highly soluble in water to form hydrochloric acid. Okay, here we are having some more examples, that is when hydrogen is combined with the chlorine, what it forms? Hydrochloric acid. When H2 is combined with the chlorine, it forms a hydrochloric acid. When magnesium is combined with the chlorine, it forms a magnesium chloride. When iron is combined with the sulfide, it forms a iron sulfide. When magnesium oxide is combined with the water, it forms a magnesium hydroxide. So these all are the examples for combination reaction. What do you mean by combination reaction? Here two or more substances, we are combining two or more substances and get a single product. Just observe these examples. In all these examples you are having two substances or two elements combining together, it form a single compound. By the combination of two substances we are getting a single substance, that is called as a combination reaction. Okay, see in the, why you call that the combination reaction as a synthesis reaction? Because here the two compounds or the two elements are going to be combining, so that is why we call it as a synthesis reaction. Listen here, synthesis reaction, the combination of the reaction in which a compound is formed from its constituent elements is called synthesis reaction. For example, the synthesis of the ammonia. Synthesis of ammonia is nothing but a formation of the ammonia. How the ammonia will be formed basically? So when it nitrogen is combined with the hydrogen, When nitrogen is combined with the hydrogen, it forms ammonia. So this is the synthesis or formation of the ammonia compound. Okay. So combination reaction is also called as a synthesis reaction. Here, some more points are there to related the combination reaction. In the combine means we put together. So combination means we have to take two substances, we put together. Two elements or compounds combine to make one compound. So as we already know that the definition of combination reaction, so this point will be indicates the definition of combination reaction. See some more example. When calcium is combined with oxygen, it forms a calcium oxide. Next one, see some more example. Sulfur oxide, when it is combined with the water, it form a sulfuric acids. Okay, so these are the some examples. Next one, here some reactions are given. You need to write the product for these reactions. Okay, see the first one. When calcium is combined with the chlorine, what it forms? Calcium chloride, CaCl2. When calcium is combined with the chlorine, it forms a calcium chloride. When iron is combined with the oxygen, it forms ferric oxide, Fe2, 2Fe2O3. It means we need to take here 4 as a coefficient in front of the iron and 3 as a coefficient in front of the oxygen molecule. So this is the balanced chemical equation. See next one. When aluminium is combined with the oxygen, it forms Al2O3, aluminium oxide. Now we need to balance the given equation. So 4 take in front of the aluminium and 3 take in front of the oxygen molecule and 2 take in front of the aluminium atom. So this reaction is now completely balanced. So these are the some examples for the combination reaction. When you are completing these type of the reaction, remember that the first step is to write the formula. First step, must and should you have to write the formula first. Once you are going to be write the complete formula, then balance the given equation. Okay, so these are the some examples related to combination reaction. Combination reaction or composition reaction or synthesis reaction. So what is the definition of composition reaction? In the reaction in which two or more substances combine to produce a single substance is called as a combination reaction. Okay, so this is the first type of the reaction. Now see the second type, that is decomposition of reaction. Decomposition of a reaction. Decomposition reaction. So in the previous slide we already discussed decomposition reaction. What is the general form of decomposition reaction? Here a single compound or single substance is breaks down or split down into two simplest compounds. So these type of the reactions we call it as a decomposition reaction. The reaction in which compound is broken down into two or more simpler substances are known as decomposition reaction, and the general form is AB is the one compound. AB is the one compound and it breaks down into two simple elements or two simple substances as A and B. So these type of the reactions we call it as a decomposition reaction. A reaction where two complex a reaction where a more complex molecule breaks down to form two or more simple products. So this is the decomposition reaction. So decomposition reaction are mostly endothermic reaction. In nature, energy in the form of heat, light or electricity is generally absorbed in these reactions. It causes the cleavages or breakage. By applying the heat or by supplying the heat, we breaks down the complete given compound and the bonds of the compounds will be completely breaks down and split into two or more substances. It means the whole compound will be get decomposed. So decomposed reaction is just opposite of the combination reaction. In a combination reaction, substances is formed as a result of chemical combination, while in decomposition it breaks down into new substances. For example, in the combination reaction we are combining two substances and get a single compound, but in the decomposition reaction we are having one simple compound and it breaks down into two simplest elements. So this is exactly opposite to the combination reaction. Okay, see here one example is given, that is sodium chloride, NaCl. NaCl. Once the NaCl compound is decomposed, it will form a chlorine and sodium. The entire compound NaCl is get decomposes. It forms two new substances, that is sodium and chloride. So AB is the complete compound. Once it breaks down, it form A and B as the two simplest elements. So this is the decomposition reaction. Okay, decomposition reaction. In a decomposition reaction, a single compound breaks down to produce two or more similar substances. The decomposition reaction takes place when energy is supplied in the form of heat, electricity or light. So it means all the decomposition reactions are endothermic reaction. Endothermic means we already discussed in the previous class. No, endothermic means the reaction that can absorb the heat and light, so that type of the reactions we simply call it as a endothermic reaction. In the exothermic reaction, heat will be get released. Okay, decomposition reaction. A reaction in a substance reaction in which a substance is broken down into two or more simpler substances is known as a decomposition reaction. So as we already discussed, decomposition reaction is opposite of combination reaction. A decomposition reaction takes place only when some energy in the form of heat, light and electricity is supplied to the reactants. So see the some examples. First example, zinc carbonate. So this is the first example, zinc carbonate, ZnCO3. When it gets some heat, it will be decomposes as a zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. So this is the first example. Second one, when water H2O, when water is supplying in the process of electrolysis, it will be decomposed as a hydrogen and oxygen, right? Just observe these examples. In all these examples we are having only one single compound, so these all are a single compound. By applying heat, we already discussed in the first session, no? So triangle mark will be indicate the heat. It needs a heat. In presence of heat only the compound will be decomposes. So third one, calcium carbonate, CaCO3. When it absorbs the heat, it will be decomposed as a calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Next one, H2O2. H2O2, in presence of the UV radiations, it will be decomposed as a water and oxygen. So these are the some examples for decomposition reaction. We are having one more example here, NH4 twice Cr2, it means chromium 2 oxygen 7 O7. When it breaks down, it forms a N2 4 times of H2O and chromium oxide. So these are the substances obtained by the breakage of the given compound. See next one, decomposition means fall apart. It means it will be split into two simplest compounds. One reactant part into two or more elements or compounds. See this example, sodium chloride. When sodium chloride is electrolyte, when electricity is passed in the sodium chloride, it breaks down into sodium and chloride. So 2NaCl, it breaks down into 2Na plus Cl2. Next, already discussed in the previous slide, calcium carbonates breaks down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide in presence of the heat. Okay, next one, just break down the given compound, that is water. So what you will get the decomposition of water? So 2H2O, so this is 2H2O. 2H2O, the whole compound is break down into 2H2 plus O2. By the process of electricity, by supplying the electricity, we decompose the water into two simplest substances like hydrogen and oxygen. Next one, mercuric oxide. In presence of the heat, the mercuric oxide will be decomposed as Hg, mercury plus oxygen. So 2Hg plus O2, it forms a 2HgO. Next one, nickel carbonate. The nickel carbonate, in presence of the heat, nickel carbonate is get decomposes as nickel oxide, NiO plus carbon dioxide. Next one, hydrogen carbonate. Hydrogen carbonate will be decomposed and it forms water, H2O plus carbon dioxide. So these are the some examples for decomposition reaction. In the decomposition reaction, we are having some more types. In that, first one, electrolysis decomposition, photolytic decomposition. Next one, thermal decomposition. So see the first one, electrolytic decomposition, that is nothing but a electrolysis. So what do you mean by electrolysis? Some compounds like oxides and chlorides of metals are decomposed by passing of electricity, passing of the current through them in their molten states. Water is also decomposes when electric current is passed through. So in presence of the, when the substances, when a substance is decomposed by passing electric current, the process is called as a electrolysis. In presence of the electricity, if the compound is get decomposed, so that type of the reactions are called as a electrolysis reaction. So electrolysis, for example, water is get decomposed in presence of the electricity only, or in presence of the electrolysis only. It will be decomposed as a hydrogen and oxygen. So let's see how the reaction will be takes place. The electrolysis of water, here you are taking water, no, H2O. The electrolysis of water resulting in hydrogen and oxygen. Once the water will be decomposed, it forms a hydrogen and oxygen. Gases is commonly example of decomposition reaction. The whole reaction is occurs in presence of the passing of the electric current. Water as a such is a poor conductor of electricity, but water containing a few drops of the sulfuric acid. So water is consisting few drops of the sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. So this is the sulfuric acid, is a good conductor. So how you can do the demonstration of this electrolysis? In a plastic mug, drill 2 holes. Take one plastic mug and drill 2 holes at the base and insert graphite. Graphite means carbon electrodes. Into these holes, connect these electrodes to 6-volt battery. The plastic mug will be act like a voltmeter. The whole plastic mug will be act like a voltmeter. Fill the mug with water. So this mug is filled with water to nearly half and add few drops of the sulfuric acid. You need to add few drops of the sulfuric acid and place two test tube in the form of inverted. So this is the inverted form of the test tube. Place 2 inverted test tubes containing water. Okay. Once the electric current is slowly passed through the voltmeter, the bubbles of the gases will be appearing on the top of the electrodes in both test tubes. This means the water is completely get decomposes and it forms a hydrogen and oxygen. So this is the process of electrolysis. So what do you mean by electrolysis? When a substance is decomposed by passing of the electric compound or electric current, the process is called as a electrolysis. Okay, see the next type of the decomposition reaction. This is thermal decomposition. So thermal means what? Heat. Thermal means heat. So when a substance is decomposes on heating, it is called as a thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition. When any substance is breaks down or decomposes into a simple compounds in presence of the heat, so that type of the reactions we call it as a thermal decomposition. Okay, electrolytic decomposition means the decomposition will be takes place in presence of the electric current. Thermal decomposition means The decomposition will be takes place in presence of the heat. When we are supplying the heat, the whole compound is break down into two simplest compounds. Here we are having one simple example. When calcium carbonate is heated, it decomposes to give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, which comes out, turns lime water milky. So this is the best example for thermal decomposition. Okay, see the next type of the decomposition reaction, that is photochemical decomposition. Photochemical means in presence of the sunlight. Photolytic decomposition or photochemical decomposition in presence of the sunlight. When a substance is decomposed in presence of sunlight is called as a photochemical decomposition. So one example for photolytic or photochemical decomposition is silver bromide. When silver bromide is exposed to sunlight, it breaks down into silver and bromium. So the silver bromide is completely decomposed. It means the whole compound is break down into two simplest substances, that is silver and bromide. So these are the three types of the decomposition reaction. First one is electrolytic decomposition, second one is photolytic decomposition, and third one is thermal decomposition reaction. In the electrolytic decomposition, we need to pass the electric current. In the thermal decomposition, we need to supply heat, and in photolytic or photochemical decomposition, we need to supply or we need to provide the sunlight. In presence of the sunlight only the reaction will be takes place. So these all are the some types of the decomposition reaction. Next, third type is single replacement or single displacement reaction. Single replacement reaction or single displacement reaction. So in the previous slide we already discussed the general form of the single replacement reaction. So what is the general form of single replacement reaction? Here one complete element, the highly reactive element is taking the position of less reactive element and it combines with the ion of the less reactive element and it forms a new compound. Okay, so this is the general form of the single replacement or single displacement reaction. In single displacement reaction, a reaction in which an atom or group of atoms present in the molecule is displaced by another atom is called as single displacement reaction. So how the atoms will be or how the elements will be displaces, on what condition we need to apply here. Let's see. The whole single displacement reaction are very common in metals. Normally a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal. Here you are having the chart. So this is the reactivity series of the metal. So which is the most reactive metal? Potassium. Next one sodium. Next one calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, tin, lead. Okay, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold. So this is the reactivity series of the metals. Reactivity series of the metals is a series in which the metals arranged in decreasing order of their reactivity. It means in the single displacement reaction, the highly reactive elements will be displaces in the place of low or less reactive element. For example, So the displacement reaction are very common in metals. Normally a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal present as its salt dissolves in water. The reaction is often known as a metal displacement reaction. Later we will discuss some examples. Okay, some of the commonly used metals have been arranged in the decreasing order. So the complete reactivity list is arranged in the decreasing order of the reactivity is known as a activity series or reactivity series. So which is the most active or reactive element? Potassium is the most reactive metal, while platinum is a less reactive in nature. Okay, see here, in a single in a displacement reaction, a more reactive metal displaces or removes another element from the compound. For example, zinc. When zinc is combined with the copper sulfide, CuSO4, it forms a zinc sulfide and copper. It means, just see the previous slide, zinc is zinc is highly reactive. Zinc is highly reactive when we are going to compare to the copper, right? So that's why the zinc will be replace the position of the carbon, and it forms a zinc sulfide and copper. In the above reaction, zinc is more reactive than copper. So zinc displaces copper to form copper sulfate. From the copper sulfate, it will form the zinc sulfide. Okay. Next, take one more example. Silver nitrate. When silver nitrate is combined with a zinc, it forms a silver and zinc nitrate. So zinc nitrate is only in the aqueous form. Okay, in this reaction also zinc is more reactive than silver. So zinc displaces silver from its solution. Here we are having some more information about the displacement reaction. A reaction in which one part or one atom or group of atoms of the molecule is replaced by another is called as a displacement reaction. So general form of the displacement reaction is X is the one atom, and here we are having two atoms like Y and Z. It means Y is a less reactive here. Y is less reactive element. The less reactive element will be displaced by the more reactive element. It means the Y less reactive elements will be get separated, and the highly reactive element is attached with the another ion of the compound. Okay, see the some examples. When zinc is combined with the hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, Zn plus 2HCl. Here zinc is highly reactive metal when we are going to compare with the hydrogen. It means it forms a zinc chloride and hydrogen gas will be get liberates. So this is the one example for single displacement reaction. See one more example. Potassium bromide plus chlorine. So potassium is highly reactive and it combines with the chlorine, and bromine or bromide will get separates. Next one, copper sulfate. When copper sulfate is combined with a zinc, it forms a zinc sulfide and copper will be get separated. Magnesium. When magnesium is combined with the hydrochloric acid, it forms a magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas will be get liberates. So these are the some examples for single decomposition reaction. So basically what happens in the single displacement reaction, the highly reactive metal will takes place the less reactive metal. It means the position of the less reactive metal will be get lost, and the one more element which is combined with a less reactive element, for example here HCl, in the HCl hydrogen is a less reactive element, right? So hydrogen is a less reactive metal, it get separates, and zinc is the, when we are comparing with the hydrogen, zinc is a more reactive metal, that's why zinc is combined with the chlorine and it forms a zinc chloride, and hydrogen gas will be liberates. So these all are the some examples for single displacement reaction. Next one, so next type is double displacement reaction. What do you mean by the double displacement reaction? The reaction in which two different atoms or group of atoms are displaced by another atom, or groups of atoms, are double displacement reaction. For example, in the double displacement reaction, two compounds exchange their ions to form two new compounds, such as, listen here, for example, when barium chloride is combined with the sodium sulfite, what are the ions of this given compounds? Barium chloride, BaCl2. So these are the two elements or atoms combined together here in the one first compound. In second one, Na2 and SO4, right? So these ions will be get exchange each other. This Ba will be replaces or combined with the second compound, and Na will be replace the position of the first element. It means the ions in this type of the reaction, two compounds will changes their ions. Finally it forms a Ba. Just take this Ba to another compound and it forms a barium sulfide and sodium chloride. It means the positive ions here displaces their position. Okay, see here, you will get some more idea with the help of this image. A reaction in which two reacting ionic compounds exchanges their corresponding ions is called as a double displacement reaction. For example, here we are having two compounds. So compound is the combination of the two same type of the or different type of the atoms or molecules. Okay, here we are having two compounds. In first compound we are having W and X, and second compound we are having Y and Z. In that, the first atom is positively charged and second atom is negatively. In second compound also we are having positively charged ion and negatively charged ion. In these two compounds, the positively ions are get changes their position. So see the results or products of this type of reaction. So Y will combine with the X. After the displacement, Y will be combined with the X and it form a new substance or new compound, that is YX, and Z will be takes place the Y position, that is, and it forms a new compound, that is W and Z. Okay, so this is the general form of the double displacement reaction. It means in the two given compounds, their the exchange of their ions is called as a decomposition or double displacement reaction. See these examples. What is that first one? silver nitrate and sodium chloride. So what are the positive ions present here? Silver and sodium. So just replaces these two. Silver will be combined with the chlorine and sodium is combined with the nitrogen oxide. So what it forms? Silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrogen oxide. Okay, so these two are the products obtained by the combination of silver nitrogen oxide and sodium chloride. See next one, nickel nitrogen oxide. When it is combined with the sodium hydroxide, it forms nickel hydroxide and sodium nitrogen oxide. So nickel hydroxide is usually in the form of precipitation. Okay, next one, potassium bromide. When potassium bromide is combined with the barium iodide, what it forms? The potassium takes the position of barium and barium will exchanges their ion with the bromide and finally it forms a barium bromide and potassium iodide. It means in the two compounds there changes their positive ions. Okay, so these are the some examples for the double displacement reaction. Next one, so next one is precipitation reaction. So there are some chemical processes in which a solid get separated from the solution. So these processes are called as a precipitation reaction. The separated solid is called as a precipitate. Usually in the double displacement reaction between the solutions of the sodium chloride, and silver nitrate, silver chloride is obtained as a precipitate. Here precipitation reaction occurs when cations and anions in aqueous solution combine to form an insoluble ionic bond is called as a precipitation. For example, when silver nitrate, so this is nothing but a double displacement reaction. When silver nitrate combined with a sodium chloride, it forms silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Here silver chloride is the precipitate form. So usually the precipitate form occurs in the solid state. Okay, so these type of the reactions we call it as a precipitation reaction. See, some more information is given about the precipitation reaction. The reaction in which one of the products formed is an insoluble substance and is thrown out of the solution as a solid is called as a precipitation reaction. It means when we are taking two solutions or when we are taking two compounds, it dissolves in one compound. If the dissolved compound is not soluble in the water and it will be form some cloudy formation or solid form, so that type of the solid formation we call it as a precipitation or PPT. Okay, so the formed precipitate is indicated by downward arrows. It means we already discussed in the first slide. Upward arrow means the gas will be get liberated. Downward arrow mark will be indicated the solid collection of the white ash or solid collection of the precipitate. So see some examples for precipitation reaction. First one, AgNO3. AgNO3 means silver nitrite. When silver nitrite is combined with the potassium chloride, what it forms? silver chloride and potassium nitrate. In that, AgCl is a precipitate. It forms a precipitation. Next one, lead nitrite. When lead nitrite is combined with a potassium iodide, it forms a lead iodide, and lead iodide is usually in the precipitate form, and potassium nitrite is the one more compound. Next, see the third example. Barium chloride. When barium chloride is combined with the sodium sulfide, what it forms? Barium sulfide. Barium sulfide is usually in the precipitate form, and another compound is sodium chloride. So these are the some examples for precipitation reaction. Next one, neutralization reaction. So what do you mean by the neutralization reaction? The process in which an acid react with a base to form salt and water is known as a neutralization reaction. Simply, when acid is combined with a base, it forms salt and water. So these type of the reactions, we call it as a neutralization reaction. A neutralization is a type of the double displacement reaction. In the reaction, hydrogen ions and hydroxide negative ions combined to form HOH. It means that is nothing but when hydroxyl is combined with the hydrogen, it forms a water molecule. A salt is the product of an acid and base reaction. For example, HCl. HCl is the acid, and NaOH, hydrochloric acid. HCl is nothing but a hydrochloric acid, and NaOH is nothing but a sodium hydroxide. HCl is acidic in nature, and sodium chloride is basic in nature. When acid is combined with a base, it forms a salt. So NaCl, sodium chloride is the salt. And water, we get a water as the one more product. In the above reaction, NaCl is the salt. Okay, so this is the best example for the neutralization reaction. So how the neutralization reaction will be occurs? When the acid is combined with a base, it forms a salt and water. One more example, when sulfuric acid is combined with a potassium hydroxide, it forms potassium sulfate and water. So this is also one of the example for neutralization reaction. Okay, just we need to recall the concept. What we have learned, we need to recall that concept. First one, combination reaction. So combustion, later we will discuss about the combustion reaction. Combination reaction means when two or more substances combine together, it form a new single substance, is called as a combination reaction. Decomposition reaction means a single compound is break down into or converted into two simplest elements or atoms, is called as a decomposition reaction. Single displacement reaction means the highly reactive element will takes place of the less reactive element. It means the change of the ions. That is single displacement reaction. In double displacement means in the two compounds, if the ions will be positively charged, ions will be changes their position, then that type of the reactions we call it as a double displacement reaction. Okay, see the next one, that is exothermic and endothermic reaction. See here, we are having some examples. When water is heated, that is the example for endothermic reaction. When carbon is combined with or coke is combined with the water in presence of heat, produces carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas. So this is also best example for endothermic reaction. When methane is combined with the oxygen, it forms a carbon dioxide and water, and it releases the heat. Exothermic reaction. So in the exothermic reaction, it releases the heat. In the endothermic reaction, it absorbs the heat. That's why in the endothermic reactions, we write the heat in the left hand side. It means in presence of the heat only the reaction will be completed. In presence of heat the reaction will be takes place. Here in the exothermic reaction, when reaction is completed, it will release the heat. That's why we write here heat in terms of RHS part. In the part of RHS we write the heat. Okay, next one, when hydrogen is combined with the oxygen, it form a water and it releases the some kind of the heat. So this is also the best example for exothermic reaction. See the one more information related to exothermic reaction. Respiration is a best example for exothermic reaction. In the process of the respiration, the complex substances are broken down into simpler substances and then converted to glucose. In the whole process, energy or heat is released. We know that a reaction in which heat is released along with the formation of products is known as an exothermic reaction. Thus, from the above 2 points, we can conclude that respiration is the exothermic reaction. Let's see the next one, that is the fifth type of the reaction and most important type, that is oxidation and reduction reaction. Oxidation and reduction reaction. Simply we call it as a redox reaction. Oxidation and reduction reaction. Simply we call it as a redox reaction. So what do you mean by the oxidation reaction? See the first one, oxidation reaction. So what do you mean by oxidation reaction? Oxidation is defined as the addition of oxygen to an element or compound, or we can also define like this, the removal of hydrogen from the compound. So oxidation is nothing but a addition of the oxygen or removal of the hydrogen. Once we are adding the oxygen to the given compound, we call it as a oxidation reaction, or once we are removing the hydrogen element or hydrogen atom from the given compound, we call it as a oxidation reaction. Okay, any chemical substances following any these is called as a oxidation reaction. For example, see here, when calcium is combined with the oxygen, what it forms? Calcium oxide. So calcium oxide, this is the protected compound. What we are going to be add here? Oxygen is added with the calcium and it forms a calcium oxide. So once we add the oxygen to any compound or any atom, that is nothing but a oxidation reaction. Take one more definition. HCl, when the HCl is hydrochloric acid is oxidized to form the chlorine. When hydrochloric acid is oxidized to form chloride by the removal of hydrogen, here hydrogen get liberates. So the removal of hydrogen or addition of oxygen is called as a oxidation reaction. Next one, reduction reaction. This is the opposite to the oxidation. What we are adding in the oxidation reaction? Oxygen. In the reduction reaction, we are going to add hydrogen and we are removing the oxygen. So removal of oxygen The removal of oxygen or addition of the hydrogen is called as a reduction reaction. Reduction reaction. Okay. See some examples related to oxidation and reduction reaction. Oxidation reaction. Any process involving addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen and loss of electrons is known as a oxidation reaction. So oxidation reaction means just you need to concentrate on these 2 points. Either you need to add oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Add oxygen or removal of hydrogen is called as a oxidation reaction. Here some examples are given. Addition of oxygen. Addition of oxygen. When phosphorus is combined with the oxygen, what it forms? Phosphorus oxide. Phosphorus oxide. So what you are going to add here? Oxygen. So addition of the oxygen with a particular atom or element, we call it as a oxidation reaction. So this is the oxidation reaction. Next one, removal of hydrogen. Either the addition of the oxygen or removal of the hydrogen is called as the oxidation reaction. So in the first example, we are going to add the oxygen with the phosphorus and get the phosphorus oxide as a product. So addition of the oxygen. In the second one, removal of hydrogen. So removal of hydrogen means when hydrogen sulfide combined with a bromide. When hydrogen sulfide combined with a bromide, the hydrogen bromide, what we are getting the product? Hydrogen bromide and sulfide. So removal of the, from the hydrogen sulfide we remove the hydrogen. Here hydrogen sulfide is there, no? We are going to be remove the hydrogen from the hydrogen sulfide. The removal of the hydrogen is also called as a oxidation reaction. Okay, next one, loss of the electrons. Loss of the electrons is also considered as a oxidation reaction. So these are the some examples for oxidation reaction. Next one, oxidizing agent. The substances which brings about the oxidation of other substances is called as a oxidizing agent. For example, potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate is also oxidizing agent. Concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid is also one of the oxidizing agent. Next one, reduction reaction. Reduction reaction. Any process involving the removal of oxygen. Removal of, we need to remove the oxygen or we need to add the hydrogen. This is the exact opposite to oxidation reaction. In the oxidation reaction, we add oxygen and remove the hydrogen, right? But in reduction reaction, we need to add oxygen and remove the, we need to add hydrogen and remove the oxygen. Okay, so any process involving removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen gains the electron is known as reduction reaction. In the oxidation reaction, we loses the electrons, but in reduction reaction we gains the electrons. So see the some examples related to reduction reaction. Iron oxide, Fe2O3, combined with the carbon monoxide, what it forms? Here oxygen will be get combined with the carbon monoxide and finally it forms a carbon dioxide. It means hydrogen is completely removed from the ferric oxide. Hydrogen is completely removed from the ferric oxide compound and we get a separated form of the iron. So reduction of the oxygen from the ferric oxide. So that type of the reaction we call it as a reduction reaction. Next one, addition of hydrogen. So in the previous slide we already discussed when the hydrogen sulfide combined with chlorine. So from the hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen gets separated and it combines with the chlorine. Hydrogen gets separated and it combines with the chlorine. It forms a hydrochloric acid and sulfur will be get separated. The addition of hydrogen with a chlorine atom is also called as a reduction reaction. So in the reduction reaction we are gaining the electrons, and in the oxidation reaction we are losing the electrons. Okay, see next slide. If oxidation and reduction always occurs simultaneously, if a substance is oxidized substance B, if a substance A is oxidized substance B, then that type of the reactions we call it as a redox reaction. It means both oxidation and reduction will be occurs simultaneously. So that type of the reactions we call it as a redox reaction. In the redox reaction both oxidation and reduction will be takes place simultaneously. Okay, now see the next type of the reaction, that is combustion reaction. In the previous classes you already learned combustion means what? Burning of the substances. In the combustion reaction oxygen is combined with the substance and releases the energy in the form of heat and light. Okay, see here, the reaction in which a substance combined with the oxygen to produce heat and light is called as combustion reaction. In the combustion reaction may be considered as a oxidation reaction also. For example, when carbon is burns in presence of the oxygen, carbon dioxide is produced with the emission of heat and light. Okay, so this is the best example for combustion reaction. See here, one more example is given. Heated hydrogen reacts with the oxygen to produce heat and water in a combustion reaction. So sometimes the combustion reaction is also called as a synthesis reaction. Why you call that synthesis reaction? Because we are going to be combine the two substances and it forms a single product. When the two compounds or when the two substances are combined together and it forms a single substance, that type of the reactions we call it as a synthesis reaction. So combustion reaction is also synthesis reaction. Okay, see here, some more information is given about the combustion reaction. A combustion is a chemical reaction. Between a fuel and an oxidant that produces an oxidized product. Usually it is a reaction between the hydrocarbons and oxygen to yield carbon dioxide, water and heat. It means when the hydrocarbon is combined with the oxygen, it always produces the carbon dioxide, water and heat. When the hydrocarbon is combined with the oxygen, it always produces the carbon dioxide, water and heat. So see, one example is given. When methane, CH4 means methane. When methane is combined with the oxygen, Hydrocarbon. Methane is the one of the hydrocarbon, the first compound in the ethanes, the first compound in the alkanes. In the next class we are having one more chapter, that is carbon and its compound. In that chapter we are going to be discuss about the hydrocarbons, alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So methane is the first compound in alkanes. Okay, so this methane, when it is combined with the oxygen, it forms a carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas will be get liberated. Okay, when it combined with the oxygen, it forms a carbon dioxide and water. Here water is in the liquid form. Okay, now see the general form of the combination reaction. So what happens in combination reaction? Usually in the combination reaction, hydrocarbons are combined with the oxygen. And it forms a carbon dioxide, water and heat and light. So this is the general representation or general form of the combustion reaction. So combustion reaction means the burning of the any kind of the substances. When any substance is burned in presence of the oxygen, obviously it will be releases the carbon dioxide along with the heat and light. So these type of the reactions call it as a combustion reaction. Okay, see some examples are given for combustion reaction. So first example, when element, you can take any kind of the element, when element is combined with the oxygen, it get oxides. For example, what we are taken here, magnesium. When magnesium is combined with the oxygen, magnesium is the one element, when it is combined with the oxygen, it forms a magnesium oxide. So this is the first example for combustion reaction. When any element is combined with the oxygen, it always form the element oxide. It means here magnesium is the first element, or magnesium is the one element, when it is combined with the oxygen, it form a magnesium oxide. Next one, hydrocarbons. When the hydrocarbons is combined with the oxygen, what it forms? Carbon dioxide. In the previous slide we already discussed, no? Carbon dioxide and water vapors. Carbon dioxide and water vapors along with the heat and light. Okay, so when methane is combined with the oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide and water along with the heat and light. Okay, so these are the some examples for combustion reaction. Next one. Okay, so these all are the some types of the chemical reaction. So first one is a combination reaction, second one is decomposition reaction, third one is single displacement reaction, fourth one is double displacement reaction, and fifth one is oxidation and reduction reaction. Okay, now we are having some more important concept in this chapter, that is corrosion. The effect of oxidation and reduction in everyday. The effect of the oxidation and reduction. The effect of oxidation and reduction reaction in the everyday life. Okay, so first one is corrosion. Corrosion is a naturally process which converts a refined metal to a more stable form, such as its oxides, hydroxides or sulfides. So corrosion is nothing but a rusting. Corrosion is nothing but a rusting. So how you can define the corrosion? The chemical process of slow eating up of the surfaces of certain metals when kept in open for a long time. For example, when we are keep some of the metals for a long time, it will be get oxidized. It will be get oxidized. Quite often when we open the bonnet of the car, for example, when we are open the bonnet of the car, after a long time we find a deposit around the terminals of the battery. This is because of the corrosion of the terminals. We are observing usually on the metals, we are observing black coating on the surfaces of the silver or green layers on the surfaces of the copper are the examples for corrosion. In these cases of iron, corrosion is called as a rusting. Rust is a chemical substance brown in mass and is formed by the chemical reaction of moist containing carbon dioxide and water on iron. It is basically an oxidation reaction, and formula of the rusting of iron is nothing but Fa2O3. It means when you are going to be expose the iron for a long time, it will absorb the moisture content. It will absorb the moisture content from the atmosphere and it will be get oxidized. So that oxidized form is called as a rusting of iron. So both corrosion and rusting are very harmful and causes the damages that to the buildings, whether the buildings are railway tracks or automobiles and other objects or materials where we are using the metals. Okay, see here the definition of corrosion. Corrosion is a destructive attack of metal by chemical or electrochemical reaction with its environment. So this is the definition of corrosion. Now, what are the factors affecting on the corrosion? See one by one. The main factors are nature of the metals and second is nature of the corroding environment. So first one, in the nature of the metals, we lost the purity of the metal. When we are exposing any type of the metal for a long time, it will be get rusted. It means it loses its purity. Second one, physical state of the metal. Physical state of the metal means it loses its original state. Some black patches or green patches will be appearing on the top surface of the metals. So we are losing the quality or state of the metal. Third one, position of metal in a galvanic series. Fourth one, nature of oxide films. And fifth one is nature of the product of corrosion. And next one, relative area of the cathode and anode. It means we lost their electric power or electric conductivity. Next, so some more factor affected on the corrosion, that is temperature and humidity, effect of pH. Next one, presence of the impurities in atmosphere, nature of electrolytes, solubility of product of the corrosion. So these all are the factors, affecting on corrosion of the substances. Okay, so how we can prevent the corrosion or rusting of the metals? Yes, some methods are given to remove the corrosion. See one by one. Complete corrosion treating involve the followings. First one, cleaning and stripping of the coated area. Second one, removing as much of the corrosion product as practicable. Third one, neutralizing any residual materials remaining in the pits and crevilles, restoring protective surfaces of films, applying temporary or permanent coating of paints, and galvanizing. With the help of the galvanization also we can prevent the rusting of iron. By applying the oils we can prevent the metals from the rusting. First one is the galvanization process. Second one, by applying paints we can remove the rusting of iron, or we can prevent from the corrosion of the iron. Third one, we can apply the grease and oils on the surfaces of the metals. Okay, so these are the some preventing methods from the corrosion or rusting of the irons or metals. Okay, see here some protective measures against the corrosion. First one, metallic coating. Electroplating, a coating. So first one method is electroplating. A coating metal is deposited on the base metal by passing direct current through an electrolytic solution. So this is the first method. Second one, metal cladding. So what do you mean by the metal cladding? The base metal to be protected and coating metal are sandwiched by pressing and through the roller under the action of heat and pressure. Like this also we can prevent the corrosion. Okay, next see the third step or third method, that is hot dipping. The base metals to be coated is immersed in the bath of the molten coating metals. And fifth one, cementation. A uniform surface coating is obtained by the heating base metals in the power of the coating metals. And next one, metal spraying. The coating metal in the molten state is sprayed on the basis of the metal by means spraying. And one more important, we are making the alloys. That can also prevent the corrosion, or that can also prevents from the rusting of the metals. Now see the last concept of your chapter, that is rancidity. Okay, see here, what do you mean by rancidity? The most important cause of destruction or deterioration in the fats and the fatty foods is called as oxidation. Okay, so rancidification, the product of which can be described as rancidity, is the process in which caused a substances to be rancid, that is having rank and unpleasant smell or taste. That is nothing but a spoiling of the food. The spoiling of the food is called as a rancidity. The spoiling of food is called as a rancidity. Okay, see here, rancidity is the development of unpleasant smell in the fats and oils, which are often accompanied by the changes in their texture and appearances. Two types of the rancidities are there. First one is hydrolytic rancidity and second one is oxidative rancidity. So here some definitions are given related to the rancidity. First one is, rancidity is the natural process of decomposition of fats and oils by either hydrolysis or oxidation or both. The process of the degradation converts fatty acids, esters and oils into free fatty acids. That is also called as a rancidity. This gives rise to an unpleasant odor and unpleasant taste on food. These lipids degrade to the point of becoming either incapable or unhealthy to ingest. So, the rancidity means oxidation has also damaging some effects on foods and eatable. When food is containing fat and oils is left as such for a long time, it becomes stale. The stale food often develops bad state and smell. This is very common in case of curd and cheese, particularly in summer. Actually, the oils and fats are slowly get oxidized. This type of the oxidization is called as a rancidity. In the certain bad smell and unpleasant smells will be occur on the substances, so that is nothing but it indicates the rancidity or spoiling of the food. These are the volatile in nature and releases the fuel smell, so this is known as a rancidity. So rancidity is a slow oxidation of oils and fats present in the food materials, resulting bad smell on the compounds. So how can prevent the spoiling of food? Here some ways are there to prevent the spoiling of food, ways to prevent the rancidity. First one, using gases in the packing. Second one, using antioxidants. Third one, refrigeration. Fourth one, vacuum packing. Fifth one, using oxygen scavengers. And sixth one, using airtight containers. And last one is storing in a dark places. So these are the some ways to prevent the rancidity. Okay, some more points are given here. The prevention of rancidity. See one by one. Storage in the colored glass containers prevent the oxidation of fats by rays of light. Second one, vacuum packing retards rancidity by excluding oxygen. Excluding oxygen means by the removal of oxygen. Next one, naturally occurring antioxidants. We need to add some naturally occurring or naturally available antioxidants like vitamin C. Next one, carotene, vitamin C, vitamin B, carotene and vitamin E protects against the rancidity. Okay, next one, the nitrogen also serves as a compound on the minimizing packages of the chips. What we are taking the chips packet, no, that chips packet consisting nitrogenous gas. It means it can prevent the spoiling of the chips or spoiling of the food. So usually in pack items the nitrogen gas will be consisting. Okay, see the next one more important, that is the prevention measures of the rancidity. So first one, adding the inert gases. We need to add some inert gases. Inert gases can be added to the packet or the containers like nitrogen. containers like nitrogen which do not react with the oxygen. Example, chips packets are flushed with the nitrogen gas so they don't become rancid. Second one, adding antioxidants. Antioxidants are added to some foods slow down or eliminate the oxidative determinants. Examples, BHA and BHT. So next one is a refrigeration, and next one vacuum packing, next one using oxygen scavengers, next one keeping food in airtight and contain. So these are all things we already discussed in the previous slides. Okay, so these are the some precautions we need to maintain in the spoiling of the food. And we are having some more precautionary here. In the bag containing potato chips and other similar stuffs, the air is quite often replaced by the nitrogen. This keeps their oxidation as well as rancid. It is always advisable to place food materials and cooked food in the place where away from the direct sunlight. When you are going to be directly exposed the food materials to sunlight, it is easily oxidized. It is easily oxidized means it will be get rancid or spoiling. So this will be slow down the process of the rancidity. Okay, so this is all about the rancidity. Okay, here at the end of this chapter we are having some important compounds we need to understand. What are those? First one, calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate can also be written as the symbolic form of the calcium carbonate is CaCO3. CaCO3. Next one, carbon dioxide. You already know the chemical formula of carbon dioxide, that is CO2. Copper sulfate. Copper sulfate means CuSO4. Glucose. What is the molecular formula of glucose? C6H12 and O6. So these are the some important compounds. Next one, hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid means HCl. Sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is also called as a baking soda. Sodium carbonate, bicarbonate is also called as a baking soda. What is the molecular formula of baking soda? NaHCO3. Sodium chloride. Table salt, commonly what we are using the salt, no, that is nothing but a sodium chloride, and the molecular formula of the sodium chloride is NaCl. And next one is sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, the molecular formula of the sodium hydroxide is NaOH. And last one, this is the most important, that is water. What is the molecular formula of water? H2O, right? So these all are the some important compounds you need to understand. So this is the end of your chapter. Thank you.